Welcome back into the Sean podcast. Oh yeah, it's Big Ush. Once again, right about round again. Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
Man, good week of football. Week 5 is in the books. We have week 6 coming up.
Indeed we do.
It's exciting stuff.
So, we just going to jump into things. We're going to get our awards out of the way. Sean, anything change on your offensive players of the year?
Offensive players of the year. Let's see. I have Kyler Murray number 1 still. Even with a little bit of a slow game, I think he's shown much over the previous 4 games of the year that he is one of the more exciting players in football. So this slow week didn't slow down. My number 2 guy, I bumped up Derrick Henry to number 2. He's number 3 for me last week. Bumped him up. And my number 3 guy, it was hard to leave Lamar Jackson out, but my number 3 guy was Tom Brady.
Indeed. All right. Well, my number 1 guy has not changed. It's still Tom Brady. I'm just saying, for real. Actually, no, I think I did have Kyler number 1 before. Tom Brady's number 1. Tom Brady showed it. Guess what? Same number 2 guy, Derrick Henry. So, that's a lot of praise from me. But my number 3 guy, Kyler, has been bumped out. I'm sorry. Yes, keep it all going. My number 3 guy is Justin Herbert. Sorry, this guy, week in, week out, has shown the consistency that shows he deserves to be up here.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good offensive talent, and there's a lot of people who could be in that top 3, and it's hard leaving some of these people out.
How about your defensive rookies of the year? I mean, the defensive players of the year.
Defense player of the year, my number 1 remains Trayvon Diggs. As long as he keeps getting an interception, he's going to have a spot as my number 1. My number 2 guy, still the same. I still have Myles Garrett in there. He's continuing to wreck games. Number 3 guy, brought somebody back. He was off my list last week, but he's back this week and is going to be Carolina Panther Hassan Reddick.
Nice. He's been playing well this year.
He has. I love how Carolina's using him.
All right, so my number 1 is Trayvon Diggs. Not only does he lead the league in interceptions by double than the next guy, he also leads the league in the passes defended. So, I mean, he's a no-around corner. And let's be honest, if you watch this past game, he probably could have had 4 picks. He was so close to having 4 picks in this game. All right, next up is also Myles Garrett. Level of consistency and beastery is just nuts. If he would have paid this whole game, I don't know what could have happened. And then my number 3 guy, somebody's coming back from week 1. Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's coming back up in here. Nick Bosa is he's played extremely well, very quietly this year. All right, offensive rookies.
All right, so my number 1 guy is going to be Jamar Chase still. You're thinking even against what would be considered a weaker Packers secondary, a weaker Packer defense, he puts up 6 catches, 159 yards, and a touchdown. It's no matter who you're going against, if you're putting up those numbers, yeah, you're going to be number 1. Second guy is going to be Najee Harris still. So my first 2 are still in the same spot. Najee Harris, he had, I believe, his best rushing game this whole season.
Yes, he did.
So he's going to be able to put it together, that whole package. And he's shown us some games where he has lots of receptions. This game he did better with rushing, but it shows that Pittsburgh made a good choice in selecting him, right? The talent is there. We could argue that they had other needs, but
It's not about the talent. Again, it's more about position value.
Yep. Yeah. Both Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. Yep. But I digress. Number 3 guy is going to be Javonte Williams. Every week, he's getting a little bit better. He's getting touches. He's doing more with them.
Touches.
This week, he had 8 rushes for 61 yards. He added in 3 receptions for another 25 yards on 3 targets. It's frustrating to see Javonte Williams still splitting carries with Melvin Gordon III. You're thinking, could be a multitude of reasons why they're doing it, but it's just frustrating watching the more talented player not get the touches.
All right, so mine, Jamar Chase. Let's be honest. Say his name.
I did already. I did.
And then Najee. It's Najee. Doing his thing. And you know something? I'm going to put some respect on the name. Devonta Smith. He's sneaking in. He's showing the level of consistency that's very nice.
He's doing a little bit more.
And he helped his team win this week. Not that garbage time. This was in a win. So he's shown it when it matters. And that's what I'll take here. He's still not Jamar Chase, but hey. All right. Defensive rookies. Anything change here?
I have the same 3. They're in a slightly different order because for me, these have been the 3 most consistent defensive rookies the entire year.
That's the word you got to say, most consistent.
Yeah, and for me, that's a big thing, especially when we're looking at these awards, because you're going to notice that I haven't had Trevor Lawrence anywhere near my Offensive Rookie Award.
Even though he's getting better and better every week.
Exactly. There's improvement. There's progress being made, but he's not going to make my list because he has that name recognition.
Right.
He needs to show me, you got to show me consistency. That's why you've seen some changes in my list over the week with offensive and defensive players. You're not getting there just because you did good last year. What did you do this year that makes you on my list?
But, since you mentioned Trevor, I just want to state, and I've been saying this for the last little bit, but now he is truly looking like probably on a consistency basis the best rookie quarterback right now.
He's getting there.
Mac Jones ain't it. Mac Jones ain't it.
For me, Mac Jones has been the more or most consistent quarterback.
Yeah, he's consistent throwing the ball 4 yards downfield. Yes, he is.
But Trevor Lawrence is making more growth. So will there be a point where Trevor Lawrence,
I personally think Trevor
ascends?
Lawrence has looked better in terms of playing the QB position and making plays. I'm not knocking what Mac Jones has done. He's done his job, but they have made his job very easy.
Yes, they have. But we digress. We're going to get back to our defensive rookies. So I got the same 3. They're in a slightly different order. Micah Parsons remains number 1. Right now, it's not even close. It's like Micah Parsons.
And the other 2.
And then my next 2. And my next 2, Owusu-Koramoah from Baltimore, jumped up to number 2 for me. He just continues to make plays when given the opportunity. Some weeks he's starting, some weeks he's coming off the bench, but whatever that looks like, he's still being productive with the opportunity, and he's displaying that freakish athleticism that he was showing in Penn State or even during the Combine. And speaking of Penn State, both my top 2 rookies came from Penn State.
What's up with that weight room of Penn State? What they putting in the water?
I don't know. I think I need some of that though. Yeah.
Because my understanding, which we'll talk about in our next episode, there's another linebacker who is a height, weight, speed dude that's coming out next year. But
yes.
Number 3 guy,
process of elimination. It's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Continues to be impressive like Owusu-Koramoah when given the opportunity. When he's on the field, he's making an impact. He can tackle, he can disrupt the passing game, he can put pressure on the quarterback. It's like whatever you need him to do, he's going to get in there and do. So he's continuing to impress me.
All right, so mine. Same three, actually. Even though I was hard pressed not putting Gregory Rousseau in. I gotta respect the man. And we poo-pooed on him and during the draft process, but this dude has shown up. Buffalo has found the spot for him. They had him dropping weight, and they're using him correctly. It was very nice. But my number one, and yes, you can call me a homer all you want, is Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is by far the biggest impact rookie out of any rookie in this whole class right now. I'm talking offense or defense. He is the biggest impact rookie altogether. Next, I actually have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I honestly think that he has been a little bit more consistent than Odafe, but Odafe is number 3, still making plays. Now, Jeremiah, I'm glad you're okay. Also had a throat contusion. I don't know how that happens. Someone please explain that to me. But these guys, I mean, this has been a good class, and look forward to seeing more. All right, next up, we're going to give our top teams in the league and our bottom teams in the league. I'm going to switch it up this week. I'm going to go with mine, and then I'm going to let Sean go with his. So, my top teams. Number 1, I told you last week, if they made a statement and they did something, and I think they made a statement, they'd be on the list. But because of the statement they made, I'm putting them number 1, and that's Buffalo. They made a bang-up statement. Number 2, Arizona had a little bit of a fumble. They still won, so they're still here. They're number 2. And then my number 3 team, they're just showing how good they are, and that is the Chargers. Yes, my Cowboys got bumped out, but they're still lingering around that. Sean, who are your top 3 teams?
Top team is Buffalo. They came in, they manhandled Kansas City. You come in to Arrowhead, you do that to Kansas City. Yeah, you're getting a bump up to number 1. They showed a complete, well-rounded team, and if they continue playing like this, they will be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, because you're thinking they could win on offense and they can win on defense. Against Kansas City, they had both. They had both sides of the ball going. But even on games where Josh Allen and the offense may not be doing well, that defense can carry them. Even on games that defense is playing not as well, that offense can carry them. They're a completely well-rounded team. So they got my number 1 spot. Number 2 spot goes to another team that I think is very well-rounded, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. Play well on offense, defense. Yep, maybe all those things I said about Kyler Murray and what he needed to do this year, he heard, he listened to. He's like, you know what? Cat Daddy's right.
How upset would you be if you were Larry Fitzgerald?
Only if Arizona wins the Super Bowl do I think Larry Fitzgerald gets upset.
I mean, this team looks better the year he leaves. But anyways, your number 3 team.
Number 3, staying in there, I think barely. It was very tempting to put the Chargers as my number 3 team with how well they played against Cleveland. But hanging on to that number 3 spot right now is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Understandable.
So they're still playing well, considering the losses they've had on defense and what they're throwing, especially in the secondary. They're doing really well.
All right, so my bottom 3 teams. I'm sorry, Jacksonville. Y'all are bad. Like, y'all are real bad. I'm sorry. Like, I know you showed a little bit. You had some fighting. James Robinson had a bunch of yards. But y'all still bad. And then next up, the Jets. Zach Wilson, take your lumps, bro. Take your lumps. I mean, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And then, and I'm sorry. I actually don't really believe Detroit belongs in my bottom 3, but y'all ain't got no wins. Well, I'm sorry, Detroit. Win a game before you can just jump out of the bottom 3. Win a game.
Oh, no, I disagree with that last one. Detroit has played well under Dan Campbell. They've played hard. They've played competitive.
They ain't got no wins.
For me, it doesn't matter. I had Pittsburgh in my bottom three for a couple of weeks, even though they had, multiple wins? I had them in there.
They had one win.
They had one. Okay, well, they had a win. But,
I'm sorry. I kept Detroit out as long as I could. But they 0-4. They're 0-4, Sean.
They are.
0-4.
But I don't think they're the
0-4. Just give your three.
Sorry. They're 0-5 at this point. 0-5.
Oh, 0-5. My bad. 0-5. Worse.
All right. So my bottom three, we're going to start with the New York football playing Giants. For Joe Judge.
I think Joe Judge is a bottom coach, but I don't think this is a bottom team, personally.
It's everything for me. They're not playing well under Joe Judge, and this even begins from the offseason to, the fight within the team, and then he's making them run laps. Okay, well, how much did that help? How much did that help you?
None.
It hasn't. But you're suffering all these injuries. You have Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, plus the people who are already injured coming into this game. Like, that New York Giant team is looking like a huge mess. And for me, the big question is going to be, you drafted Saquon Barkley very high. What do you do with him after you exercise his fifth-year option?
Hey, that is not for me to know. You're number two.
I know. Thoughts? Yes, all that. Joe Judge, Dave Gettleman should be on a hot seat if not there already. My number two team is going to reside in Florida. It's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars because they are a hot mess.
Before you get into it, I really hope Joe Judge keeps his job. Anyways, go ahead.
Jaguars are a hot mess. It all starts with Urban Meyer. I don't think he has respect of the team or even the management of the team. He doesn't have it. His not allowing Trevor Lawrence to perform a quarterback sneak because you don't think he's comfortable when Trevor Lawrence contradicts you in a press conference saying, no, he is comfortable with it. That's strike one. Not understanding or not knowing how much or how little James Robinson has been used and on the field, strike two. And then
I ain't going to argue with you on this one.
So Jacksonville has a lot going against it. Jacksonville will get off my bottom three if and when they fire Urban Meyer.
They still won't get off the bottom three. They're still going to be bad.
Oh, they're still going to be bad, but I think just the addition by subtraction of getting rid of Urban Meyer would be enough to get them out of my bottom three because I think they'd be a much better, more competitive team.
Okay.
If it weren't Urban.
Who's your next one?
And then my last one is going to be the Miami Dolphins. They do not look good.
Hold on. You said Detroit, but Miami's played other games pretty close. So, what's going on?
They've played them close, but they haven't looked good. They haven't looked competitive. Detroit has looked more competitive. If we saw a matchup between the Miami Dolphins and Detroit Lions, I would begrudgingly have to choose a team, and that would be the Detroit Lions because I think they would play harder under Dan Campbell.
I might actually take Miami. I want to see this game. I wish I could see this game.
People don't want to see this game.
Anyways, those are your three. I get it. Miami, yes, they have looked bad, but at the same time, Miami has not had their quarterback. Let's see what happens when their quarterback gets back.
Which hopefully will be soon.
Hopefully this week. That's what I'm hearing. We're going to get to that. So, let's go for the previews. First game up, Bucks going to Philly to play the Eagles. The 7-point spread. What'd you think?
I think Philadelphia is going to make it close. I don't know if Tampa Bay covers the spread because of garbage time, but Tampa Bay is going to get the win.
I agree. I think Tampa takes this win. I don't think Philly can stop them.
No.
Next up, we've got another London game out in London. Man, they really give these London people some really good games. We got Miami going against Jacksonville. So, Miami staying in your bottom three this week.
It's very possible that both of these
it.
teams will remain in my bottom three. We'll see. We'll see. This
Miami
is
gets
going,
this win. Miami gets this win.
Last week I think there were more people watching the Atlanta and New York Jet game because you're thinking you have Matt Ryan, you have Zach Wilson.
Miami gets this win.
I got Jacksonville winning this.
Oh wow, Jacksonville
It's tough.
getting their first
It's tough.
win.
And
Miami.
there's not many times that I'm going to choose Jacksonville to win, and it just seems like one of those. I know that Miami is going to be a better coached team, and I think that's what it might come down to. But something's got to break in Jacksonville's favor. Now, even if they win, they're probably still going to be in my bottom three, so I don't expect them to jump out.
Yeah.
But I, not very confidently, am choosing Jacksonville.
I'm taking Miami. Mark it down, people. Next up, Packers go to Soldier Field to play the Bears. What do you think? I'm taking the Pack. Let's be honest. I'm taking the Pack. I'm sorry. Bears need to prove that they can do something with Justin Fields. Now, note, this does seem like one of those games that the Pack could drop, but I don't think it happens.
It's a division game against arguably your greatest foe, your greatest rival. So regardless of what the records are coming in, regardless of the talent on the two teams, anything can happen in these games. I have Green Bay winning, but I think, and I have nothing that tells me this, but I think this is the week that the Bears have to unleash Justin Fields, because you're probably going to be trailing Green Bay. You're going to need to throw the ball.
Also with Green Bay's secondary issues.
Yeah, secondary and their pass rush issues. Like, you're not going to have to worry about the whole Cleveland incident again. This is going to be a much easier game for Justin Fields from pressure perspective, unless Joe Barry dials up something creative. But
all right,
I think
up,
Justin Fields gets unleashed.
Next up, we have Cincinnati going to Detroit to visit the Lions. I'm taking Cincinnati.
So am I. Battle of the Cats. I'm going for the Bengals. Joe Burrow, that whole offense did very well against Green Bay, and Green Bay's defense is much better than Detroit's. So this shouldn't be too much of a competition for the Bengals.
So explain this one to me. So the Texans are going to the Colts, going to Indianapolis or whatever. And the line on it is 9.5 for Indianapolis. The line on the Green Bay Bears game was 4.5. Explain.
I think the line makers are overreacting to the first 3.5 quarters of the game against Baltimore and seeing how well Indianapolis did against Baltimore, but I don't think they saw the final 2-ish quarters that include overtime and saw how Indianapolis's defense collapsed. I got the Colts winning this.
I do too.
I got them winning. I don't think they're going to win by 9.
9.5.
Which means they really have to win by 10 for you to cover. So I don't know how. I don't feel good about that one.
Next up, this is the biggest line of the week, and I actually believe it. We have the Rams traveling to East Rutherford, play the Giants. It's a 10.5 line.
Ooh, I got the Rams winning. That one's very clear. That one's not debatable.
I got them covering.
They have a pretty well-rounded team, but I'm not sure about that line. That line might be a little sneaky because you're thinking Daniel Jones is making progress from the concussion. He's trending in the direction of play. No Saquon, but Devontae Booker came in and he filled in as a poor man's Barkley. Emphasis on poor. It's volume. It's volume and touches. He wasn't good.
But unless you believe Kadarius Toney was going to go ham. No.
Kadarius Toney will play. Kenny Galladay's likely out. You're likely going to get back Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, so they're going to have more weapons to throw to. I think it's going to be closer
No, I
No,
don't see
you
it.
don't think so?
No. This next one. No, this next one's not going to be close either. We have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to D.C. face Washington football team. The line is 7. And I'm taking KC. I'm pounding KC on the table right there. This is the get-right game for this week for KC.
You have a KC team that's got to be angry.
Below 500 for the first time in how long?
Yeah. You're thinking back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Now you have a losing record to begin the year, and you're not in first place in your division anymore. You're going to fight for a playoff spot. Yeah, they're coming into this game angry. They're coming into this game motivated. And what better team to get right against than an underperforming and underwhelming Washington defense?
Mm-hmm. Next up, this is my surprise game. We have the Minnesota Vikings going to Carolina. I'm taking Minnesota to win this one. And Minnesota actually has the line at 1, which means it's more even. Let's be honest. But Minnesota is favored, and I think rightfully so. I think this is full collapse time for Carolina.
For this one, I have Carolina winning. And that's with Christian McCaffrey returning.
Even with Christian McCaffrey, I still got Minnesota winning this game.
I don't feel very confident with Carolina. It's very similar to the Jacksonville-Miami game. I don't feel very confident about it, but
Is that another one?
I've been hitting on about 70% of my picks this year, so this might be the 30% that I'm getting wrong.
All right, game of the week. My opinion, game of the week with the Chargers traveling to Baltimore. Face the Ravens. Guess who I'm taking?
Are you going Chargers?
I'm rolling with the Chargers, baby.
Bolt up. Yes.
This is going to be a fun game, though. Such a fun game. -3 is the line in favor of Baltimore.
Which really means that's just their home field advantage, and there pretty much is no line.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping this is going to be a really good game. And I have the Chargers winning, too. Go Bolts.
Another sneaky good game coming up. Arizona Cardinals are traveling to the Midwest. Face those Cleveland Browns. 2.5 in favor of Cleveland. Again, no line really.
That's a wash. Yeah. For this one, I'm going with the Cardinals. They're going to go to 6-0. I think they're going to get... It's going to be a good game. Because you're thinking what Cleveland's defense has done this year. I think a lot of that may be contingent on, does Jadeveon Clowney play? Because when Clowney didn't play last week, I don't think they were able to get as much pressure on Justin Herbert as they had in previous weeks. So the big thing to watch is, does Clowney play? But I still got Arizona winning.
I'm going Brownies. I think the Browns give Arizona their first loss this week.
I wouldn't be surprised by it. Not at all.
All right, next up, we have the Raiders traveling to Denver. Face those Broncos. Broncos favored by 3.5. Raiders got too much drama and turmoil. Broncos going to take them down.
The Broncos should win by more than 3.5. I don't think that one... that defense, the turmoil, everything going on with Las Vegas. I don't know what Las Vegas's offense will look like moving forward. I don't know how they're going to use their players or what they're going to... There's so many questions involved that it's going to be so easy to go with Denver. Unless Las Vegas comes out and plays like a screw you game for John Gruden and just starts playing better because he's gone, but I got Denver winning. Yeah.
All right, next game. We have the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, wait, no. Before Seattle. I'm sorry. I
thought you were saving that one for last.
No, I do this every time. It's because my computer sets it up. All right, we have the Dallas Cowboys traveling to New England to face the Patriots. The line is 4. I think the Dallas Cowboys will cover. I think it's going to be a little closer than most people would think, but I think the Cowboys will beat the Patriots probably by 9 or something like that.
I agree with all that. I agree. I don't think Bill Belichick's teams are as scary or intimidating as they were years ago. So he's rolling through rookie quarterback. They have a lot of questions, even injuries to offense. Jacoby Myers is still without a touchdown for his career. So,
and I mean, Mac, you're gonna have to throw some different type of stuff because I mean, if you throw what you've been throwing, Trayvon's gonna extend his game streak. Just saying.
I'm hoping he does. I want to see this game streak go on for as long as possible.
You could shut him down right now, and he's an all-pro player. All right, moving on to the Sunday night game. So exciting. So exciting. We got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers, and I'm begrudgingly taking the Steelers in this one.
I know. I had an easier time picking the winner for the Jacksonville-Miami game than I did this one. But you're thinking Seattle without Russell Wilson. You have Geno Smith in there who may be able to do a serviceable job. But your Seattle offense is going to take a hit, and your Seattle defense has not been playing well this entire year.
Nope.
Now, I've been very critical on Pittsburgh and Ben Roethlisberger, but I think they're going to find a way to get the victory here.
Yeah. All right, Monday night. Buffalo Bills travel down to Tennessee, face them Titans. It's a 5.5 spread for the Bills, and yeah, it's going to get worse. If there's one team where Derrick Henry is not going to be run on all over, it could be the Buffalo Bills.
I agree that Tennessee is Derrick Henry's going to have a harder time against this Buffalo defense. I think they're going to give him a big challenge, so he's not going to be able to run a bust off for his normal 150 and a couple of touchdowns. But the difference maker is going to come down to that Tennessee passing game, because you're thinking with how Buffalo's offense looked the past couple of weeks, they're going to be putting up points. I don't think that Tennessee defense is going to be able to slow them down. And you're going to be trusting Ryan Tannehill to get you back into this game. But who's he throwing to? Is he going to throw to Julio Jones, A.J. Brown? Which of them is he going to play? There's still questions. You got to watch, what does that status look like? And for me, there's too many questions around that Tennessee offense. Now, if this were Tennessee's offense from last year, yeah, this would be a really good game. But this is Tennessee's 2021 offense, and I'm like, no.
I hear you. I'm right there with you.
So clearly I have Buffalo winning.
Yes, same here. All right, so that's all she wrote for this episode. Cat Daddy, words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. I was online earlier and I saw someone doing their quarter season predictions of, who are going to be the award winners. And I forgot what the source was. I really wish I could remember, because I remember it being somewhat credible. And they said for Offensive Rookie of the Year, right now, is Mac Jones.
Get out of here.
So my words of wisdom are, Northern Ireland reportedly has a clown shortage, and some of y'all jokers need to take your talents to Belfast.
My words of wisdom, and yeah, I'm taking shots. I ain't gonna say no names, but people, stop listening to them talking heads. Listen to people who are down to earth, ain't sitting there just doing it because they're getting paid to talk bad about a team. Listen to people who actually love this game.
Like us.
Because all these other fools out there on certain networks are just doing it just to troll or to clout chase and whatever. They're trying to get a response. We don't care about the controversy. We care about the game.